Good afternoon, everyone. So, I'm all bundled up. It's freezing cold in our house. My daughter likes it super cold. I don't like it cold, but it is what it is. So, that's my beautiful painting I made a couple weeks ago. Getting ready to put a tree in it. So, it's the Fire of God. I think it's beautiful. It has a rainbow in it and there's a bunch of different colors. The sky here offers such beauty. Oh my gosh. My favorite sky here is the orange. And then it has like these like images or like a path, and it goes into this big beautiful like cave and different colors. The sky has so much to offer here. So beautiful. I've met people here who've never even looked up. Real shame, because we just stay there forever. Just awe. And God's beauty is just everywhere. So I started thinking about something now. So I'm listening to one of my videos that I haven't posted yet, and Red came to my mind, and then my grandma came to mind. So about Rihanna was in high school. I think it was her freshman year, and I sketched out my grandmother's house, and she used to sit at this table, and there was an ironing board that would come down, and then put it back up. And she had this light, like magnified, over the top of the desk. And that's how she read her paper sometimes. And I understand about the eyesight thing, because I've been having some problems myself. So one day I'm at home minding my own business, and she takes me to the kitchen in my mind's eye and shows me how to make flavored syrups. I was shocked. You know how many times I've made homemade cherry pie? She had a cherry tree in the back, peaches and grapes. And she showed me how she would take homemade jelly and melt it down. All the years I had everybody send me flavored syrups in Canada, because they were really expensive, but I don't think I could find it where I was. So, but they would send it to me, like, where were you 10 years ago, Or it wasn't 10 years, it was like 5. But she had Alzheimer's, and she died when we were in Toronto. My son got to go to her funeral. So I was thinking maybe 10 years. So it showed me she came back, and that she was hanging out in her house. So I prayed a lot, for God to come and get her and bring her home. 10 years it took on the other side to get her back. So it doesn't just affect the on earth, it affects the afterlife too. And then Red. So I kept seeing this guy. He had a little bit of hair on top of his head, but he had this shirt with these 3 buttons, and it would go this way down his shirt, and he would talk to me. I understood him, and he was always watching me a lot. I had to, tell him, you can't be in here when I'm showering. I mean, the compliments were nice, but he's dead. So the dead can see you. And I had to set boundaries with him. So he told me to sketch him. So I sketched him out, and I had a prayer group come. And I put him on the wall. And one of the people came in and said, he looks familiar. And I said, well, I couldn't understand his real name, so I asked him for a nickname, and it was Red. And she said, I believe that was my neighbor that was murdered. And so, we didn't really talk about it much. But her husband was supposed to be there, and he didn't. They said he was sleeping, and you're supposed to sleep when you're dead. And so after everybody left, I saw him out walking, and I'm waving at him, and he blew me off. So I thought, well, maybe something's wrong. So I reached out to his girlfriend, and she said, no, it's what he saw above your house. What are you talking about? She says he saw the angel with the pearl teeth and the wheels of fire. So I'm thinking of the chariot of fire. So I sent them all the information on the pearl teeth. And what it means is don't throw your business to the swine so the people stomp all over it, which I've learned through the years, which I want not to. And he was just in awe, you know. So then one day I got near him and my temples, oh God, they were so bad. And I noticed that everybody in the family was just like having this temple squeeze. And her partner started to talk about, you know, like he might have known him a long time. Well, he served three different in the Kuwait War. He was not a victim; he was a hero, and she's alive because of him today. And so he just came to mind. He just came out of nowhere. I found that fascinating. I think about him every now and then. So he must be thinking about me too. Or he's just coming in and say, "Hey girl, what's up?" And so my daughter put us in this neighborhood. It's pretty rough. But I feel like it was around because he was a hero. And there's blanking life, so he may be one of my soldiers protecting me and my family here. And even from the afterlife, they protect you. I'm a firm believer in that. I've had some experiences. When my mom died, she'd call out my name. I'd call my Titi. And I said, I heard my mom call me. So I knew to call you. And she would give me messages. Runs in our family on my mother's side. And I heard it like 3 other times. And then I heard it again after my Titi died. But she popped through the veil 3 days after she passed away. Her, and then I gave my mom a message once. Easter Sunday, her mom popped through the veil at the church, smiling at me. So it was a confirmation. It was a correct message. And then I've had a lot of different experiences like that. You know, one of the ladies I worked with, I gave her a message. Some believe, some don't. I should have asked, I guess. You know, but now I know what right things to do, what not to do. I'm learning just a lot, you know. And I'm not too sure if I want to follow through with this because I've been shut down so many times by people. I mean, the person who got the message really appreciated it, but people who watch, oh, you should have asked, you should have done this, should have done that, blah, blah, blah. I was telling you, not saying, hey, let me give you some suggestions. Hey, let me tell you how to approach this. You know, no. Who are you people? I mean, throughout the years, I've used my own experiences or other people's stories without speaking their names to help other people. I just find it hard sometimes for me because even I've talked to God about it. Like, I'm not sure if I want to continue. I loved it when it was a surprise, you know, and I gave the messages. But now that I know that I'm born like this, it's a lot to take, especially with all the rejection. And, you know, so my stepmother would lie to me. Like, I would ask her how my son is doing, have you heard from him? She'd tell me no. I literally was all over. Like, what's that about? I do that when people lie to me. And, but that's not the only symbol, but it's not the only one, but, all of a sudden starts speaking right away, like telling the truth. Why can't you just tell the truth in the beginning? No harm in that. When I do prayers, I just ask for prayers, you know, for my family. I don't say what they need to do, how they need to do it, and I don't do that. That's not how this works. And the Bible states that when you do a prayer or the rosary, the Holy Spirit puts them where they need. We don't need to put demands on it. So I don't. I just do it. And sometimes it feels empty. So I'll stop in the middle and I'll ask the Holy Spirit, you know, what is it I'm missing here? And then I'll start talking to them about, something. I don't know, maybe something on my mind. And then when I go back to pray, I feel okay and I feel better, So maybe I just needed to stop to speak to the Holy Spirit about what was going on, to keep my mind where I needed it to be, from my heart space. So, and I'm whispering too because I don't know if my room has echoes or I don't want to disturb my family because they're sleeping. So, I just wanted to, talk about my own struggles and what I've been going through. I've always kept God first in my life, and I always felt that everything was coming from Him. Sometimes I do get visitations too from the actual person, and that's fine, and they're polite about it. But the one person I had as a neighbor who committed suicide, he would come to me all, everything falling out. I would tell him, you can't do that. You can come to me. Whatever message you want me to deliver, I will give you. But not like that. But in some cases, they have to be like that. Because they're not healed yet, or they're too young to understand, or whatever the reason may be. But I'm no longer, it doesn't bother me, I'm not afraid of that. But I guess it's just being punished. That's the first time I'm being punished for having what I have. So I'm not sure if I want to continue. No, I do want to become a psychologist though, private practice. I have a therapist. He pulls up my file in front of me. He doesn't even read it or study it. I don't even know he basically even comprehend anything I say to him. And he scheduled an appointment, not at a normal time. He's like, normal time? Yeah. Well, it turned out it was at 11. He never reached out to me again. So I just don't know. But I want to do private practice because I feel like I can make a bigger difference. I don't want to just make a dollar. It's not about that for me. I really want to help. And I'm sure there's a lot of people like me who are just like, what is going on? But I guess this kind of awakening happens traumatic throughout the years. And for me, it was the Father told me to record my healing. And that's what I'm doing. An organized religion doesn't accept us. And if you read tarot cards, you're the devil. If you do oracle cards, you're the devil. If you practice a different religion, you're the devil. I don't like that. Why are titles and spirituality? There are so many good people out there. Good and bad. And even if they are bad, they do turn out to be good eventually. As they take care of the widowers. And there are religions that do that. Quite a few, actually. Even take care of their own community, they don't need big taxes. Because they take care of their own communities, their own babies. A whole different subject. Just struggling with my own decision, like what I want to do. I had a pastor once tell me that a lot of seers are going to tarot, and that's because nobody's accepting them. My daughter has dreams. She had dreams about ISIS before they even hit the news. She would tell me about them. She saw everything they were doing. And I documented it. And then one day I'm watching the news, she goes, that's them right there, that's them. I go, they're just now started talking about them. And that's That's scary for a young girl to be seeing that stuff. She was scared when she got up. She thought they were here in the United States. And that was years ago. She was young. She was in elementary school. I didn't do things when I was in Canada about certain events that happened in the U.S. And then I had a dream. So I like helicopters. And I lived up on this hill next to a cemetery. And there was this post. And I saw the two helicopters above me. They were literally looking at each other. And then there was a bad accident in Denver. They collided. And then when I see helicopters falling on the ground, I knew that there were going to be more crashes. I had friends that dreamed about the World Trade Center, about the planes hitting the towers. I had a dream too. And to that dream, I was in Denver, and I just had my daughter. And my best friend and her husband had 2 kids. And it was me, my kids, and then Brianna's dad. And this is a dream. And we were in the middle of nowhere. We're in this like sandy desert place. And we came back from an outing, and I said to my friend, I don't have the kids. And she goes, they're fine, but I know her. I'm like, I'm a little jacked. So I go walking, and I go into this building, and then there's all these stairs. And so I take them and take them and take them. And I get to the very top, and I open the door, and blood is just running down all of the walls. Freaked me out. I woke up and called my mom. And it was a minute after midnight, September 11th. And my mom says, just a bad dream, go back to bed. And I couldn't. I was disturbed all night by it. So I finally fell asleep a couple hours later, and my baby gets up around 9 in the morning, and I turn on the TV. My mom called me. I go, oh my God, Mom. There's a plane just hit a building. It looks like it's in San Francisco. And she said, I'll call you back. She hung up the phone and called me back an hour later and told me it's the Twin Towers in New York. Devastating. But all my friends called, every single one of them, told me what their own experiences were the night before. For me, sometimes I get the premonition on the night before, hours before, and shifts. I can feel the shift in the air. I'm not sure what the shift means. I mean, how I know about that, but I just sit down and I'm like, it's almost like I can smell the shift. Like I know something deceptive's happening. These are things that my body tells me. I have all the senses. And then, knowing things before they happen. And I tell you, they happen. And me, personally, when I get them, I start praying. And it won't let me leave. I lived up in this one part of town, way up in the mountains, or the hills. And I wanted to come down so bad. I wanted to come down. I'm fighting with God. Please let me go. And I couldn't get to the door. My feet were like red. And finally I sat down. I waited an hour, and I said, that's it, I'm going. So as I'm coming down, they're wrapping up the speed trap. It's happened to me 2 times. Where I'm driving, and I'll get a nudge, and I'll start to slow down. The light turns red out of nowhere. So I can stop on the dime because I'm, barely going anywhere. I've had situations too. I had a nudge and a dog went out in front of me. That's how I've learned to slow down. Paying attention. And then I talked about the reflection in the road. It's crazy, like, I have a lot of cool stuff, but it's how people take me. That's what's really kind of difficult, But when I did give messages, I had this really good friend, she's cute, real young. I helped her with something, and I told her straight up, right in front of the person. And to this day, she still comes to me when she needs help. She knows I know, and they listen. And she always tells people I saved her life, or when you keep it hidden, the abuse doesn't stop. It just keeps going. You know, I lived by fear for years and years. So when I would get messages, I just assumed that it was meant to be spoken. There's a video that's coming up right now. It's meant to be spoken. But there's a couple of them actually, not just one. Lots of them. I'm always going to stand by God no matter what. And I've been talking to him about all this, what I'm talking to you guys about. And it's scary. It's a scary part of yourself. Because sometimes I may be wrong. So Father wants me to bring up something. So I was at a party last summer. Super strange. I had one beer. And all of a sudden I was like, lost. And this woman came up to me, she wanted to talk to me. I started rubbing my hands on her, and I was telling her things. And at the end, she said to me, well, I didn't really want to hear all that. And she went away. And when I got home, I told my daughter, I only had 1.5 beers. I guess I was fighting with somebody, not fighting, but, I'll play wrestling and stuff. But when I got home, I went to sleep and I got up. The presence that was on her was with me now. So when I was rubbing her, I didn't realize she had a presence on her. But I'm sure she's free and clear now. But I had to go and have it removed. I did through prayer, holy water, and praise and worship, and asked the Lord to come and get it. And it did. Gone. It was starting to raise havoc in my own home. I was blown by it. Really blown. But it reminded me of that one that was in my other friend's house. I had to get a Bible. I sprayed holy water throughout the whole house and everything. And when I came back next day, I could smell the guy. And then my friend told me, you're not lying. Because what happened, the person she was with said he could smell the black guy. He couldn't expel his sperm. So I put him in the Bible, and then I took him home because I didn't want to throw out the Bible. And he made havoc in my house. So I said, forgive me, Father, if I have to toss the Bible. Tossed it in the trash, that was it. He went to heaven, and he was out of that apartment. So sometimes we have ways how we get rid of things. Allowing all this stuff. Anything else? Your heart. Follow your heart. Love. Love conquers all.